What's up, YouTube? Got a whole different array of knives in front of you. Different blade steels, different price points. Let's kind of talk about it. Um, First off, I got cheap knives here, as you can see, and I got expensive knives, as you can see. This MG8015 ain't exactly very cheap to come across nowadays, but I believe the Kershaw Light Gear's like 20 bucks. I think it's like 15 on sale. So let's get talking about it. Blade steel doesn't really matter as much as people make it out to be for everyday carry. No. Let me tell you why. Because a knife like this buck right here, the 112 with 420 high carbon, has a Bose heat treat. Makes it a pretty decent 420 high carbon. But this is a good representation of what your average high-end knife user is going to be, because your average knife user is carrying something subpar compared to that Kershaw. That being said, most gas station knife steels are 3CR13 440A crap bottom of the barrel steel. Somebody carrying this is could be your everyday knife user and still know nothing about knives other than they see buck, and they're known for their quality, and this is a good quality knife. I think this is one of the best cheaper knives you can get, especially for being USA made for under 30 bucks. Changed the pocket clip, but it's a solid knife. No complaints about it. I've done a lot with this knife. I've carried a lot. Holds a good edge. But a knife like this Kershaw Light Gear with 3CR13 is what the vast majority of people are carrying, or knives with steels like this or 8CR13 MOV. It doesn't matter as much. To me, a steel like 20 CV, like on this 8015, it's great. You know, certain knives, the heat treatment matters. Because this has actually been a really tough knife, considering it's kind of a brittle steel compared to a cheaper, softer steel. Then you got, the new steel of the day, Magna Cut. This is a good steel, but it's all about heat treat. And another one I'll introduce, it's all about blade finish. This is Magna Cut, supposed to be a very, very stain resistant steel, but this has bead blast on it. As you can see, there's spots on it. Magna Cut, bead blasted, is not very rust resistant. And the McNeese I had was the same way. Magna Cut steel, but it's spotted up carrying it in my pocket during the summer. So to me, like D2, 1095 like on this knife. This is just sitting out in my shop. And this has been a very humid night. And you can see I got a spot of red on there I got to get rid of once we finish this. I just noticed this right before I started turning the camera on. People put too much stock into blade steel. Heat treat matters. The heat treat on this 14C28N, on this Southern grind, this is just my anecdotal evidence, which is obviously just me using this. But to me, this holds a better edge than my Chris Reeve Sebenza. This knife is obviously cheaper. It's not a cheap knife by any means. It's $250, so I guess half the price of a Sebenza. But, really, it's great steel if it's heat treated properly. And whatever Southern Grind is doing with their 14C28N, it ain't hitting like all of the other ones. It's even better than Kershaw's. And Kershaw has fantastic 14C28N. Their 14C28N is comparable to their S35VN to a degree. It'll hold its razor edge just as long, if not longer, but it won't hold a toothy working edge as long. But usually by then, most of us are touching up our blades. Those of us that are carrying knives every day, that are using them. Most of us don't let our knives get to the point where they don't cut. Few every now and again will slip through the cracks, and yeah, that'll happen. But the main factor I consider when I buy a knife is a blade finish. I'm not usually a fan of bead blast. This knife, however, I guess could not get. I mean, look at it. It gets weird and funky and unique. I remember seeing this on Slicey Dicey's channel. This is right before he came out as a scumbag, or alleged scumbag, however you want to believe. But, I mean, corrosion resistance is a big factor for me. I work construction and I live in middle Georgia, and here in the summer, it gets pretty humid and it gets pretty hot. So, you know, corrosion resistance is a factor. It's kind of humid in my shop this afternoon. Everything's kind of fogging up some. It's kind of funny. But, I mean, people put way too much stock in the, this doesn't have X steel on it. This isn't no good. Prime example is the Paramilitary 2 right now. You can get this knife in so many different blade steels. It's insane. But it comes stock in S45VN. And I've seen on Facebook posts and everything, people asking, I have an S30V Paramilitary 2. Do I need to upgrade to S45VN? No, you don't. S45VN is so close to S35. I hear it's maybe a little bit more difficult to sharpen. Doesn't hold a hair-popping edge as long as S30V or so on and so forth. Who cares? Most of these steels are so similar, most of us are never going to notice. Most people are fine with this because most people are just carrying a knife because it's a hobby to them. The people who were carrying was truly utilitarian to them. They'd probably be carrying a lot less than what they have in their pocket. That being said, I guess after 1,000 Amazon packages or envelopes or chip bags, sure, you might notice a difference. Hey, I had to sharpen this knife after 500 bags. Hey, I had to sharpen this knife after 1,000 bags. Who cares? I do tend to notice, I guess, what steels do better with what. That being said, I've had good luck out of S90V being somewhat tough. Held up to bone skinning wildlife. I mean, guess your mileage may vary. It's all in how you use it, how you treat it. I've had VG10 spot up on me, and that's known to be a pretty rust-resistant steel. See, I got this freckle that's been on this knife for I don't know how long, but I've had this Paramilitary 2. Hard to tell. It's dirty, but you can kind of see corrosion spots on it from salt water. Don't stop especially if you're new to this, don't put too much stock into what blade steel your knife has. Buy what you like. Look at the finish, research the heat treat. Those are the two main factors. Sure, steel for price and all that matters to a degree, but buy what you like first. Don't worry about the blade steel is bad. Don't follow the hype. See you.